So their relationship is heartbreaking and hopeful, exciting and sweet, devastating and tragic, and everything in between. And I'm just talking about the friendship. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach to Nerd. And in this episode, we are talking the non-spoiler review of the Netflix movie, The Half of It. I really like this movie. When I did my trailer review, I didn't research enough about basically who directed and wrote this movie. Now that I know that it is Alice Wu, it makes perfect sense because I love Alice Wu because she did a very cool queer movie called Saving Face. If you have not watched this movie, it came out in like 2004, I believe, or 2005. It's her first ever feature film, and it has a lot of remnants that you'll see in this movie, especially with the main characters of Saving Face, which were Wilhelmina and Vivian. Very good movie. But this movie, since it's a non-spoiler review, I can't go into too much of the plot, which I will do my spoiler review and I will post it probably tomorrow. But it basically revolves around a character named Ellie Chu. And she lives in like this really backwater town. It's called Squamish. And which is actually kind of cool name, actually. I'm thinking about it. And she is kind of a lonely girl. She doesn't have any friends. She, from the trailer, you see that she runs like a business where she writes essays for people for like $20. Her home life is not the best. It's just her and her father. Her mother died. And so she makes a lot of the money because the father doesn't speak very good English. So that's really the only spoiler I'm going to give you on that. And she basically evolves in this movie, and I love the road that they take in this movie for this evolution. As a matter of fact, many people in this movie evolve. It's awesome. I love when you have movies that have queer content in them, but it's not the main focus of the movie. The main focus for me, actually, was the friendship between the two main characters. There was a guy named Paul Munsky, who she helps write love letters to this girl named Aster that he's in love with, that she just so happens to be kind of hot for too. But it's not your typical coming out movie. I mean, it's not her struggling with her sexuality. She's struggling with everything. And ironically, so is almost every character in this movie. The father struggling, Aster struggling, Paul struggling. All of them have their own stuff that they have to work out before they graduate and head to college or whatever directions they're going in. And I really love that aspect of the film, that it's not just centered on the queer. The queer side of the story is the side story. And as a queer person, I appreciate that because I don't like it just being in the limelight or in the focus all the time. I want them to have other things going on other than the fact that they're queer. So I think that was a really good choice for Alice Wu. And I mentioned Saving Face. Saving Face and this movie has a lot in common in the terms that Ellie and Aster are very close in character to Wilhelmina and Vivian from Saving Face. And if you need to check that movie out. But this movie, I think, is supposed to be in the same space. It's not a direct sequel, but it's kind of like maybe like a side story in the same universe, I guess, is what it's being advertised as. If you know anything about the director and writer Alice Wu, she used to be an engineer for Microsoft. I think she has a degree in it's either computer engineering or computer science. She's extremely smart. She writes all of her main characters, especially the non-straight females, extremely smart. So I appreciate that she keeps with that trope. There's so much going on in this film. And I love Leah Lewis. I thought her, portrayal of Elias she was so adorable and she was so nerdy and awkward. And it's completely different than some of the other roles she's had. Right now, I think she plays George in CW's Nancy Drew. And it's completely opposite of this character. I mean, Ellie is dressed down. She's a little tomboyish, but more invisible. She doesn't really have a personality or a style aesthetically that stands out. Whereas George and Nancy Drew very much does. Now, they do have one thing in common. They're both extremely poor and both very smart. But yeah, completely different characters. And I love that. If you watch Ellie and you hadn't seen Nancy Drew, if you watch that next, you wouldn't even realize this was the same girl. So she did a really good job with this. And then the guy who plays Paul, Daniel, I want to say it's Deemer, that actually, he was so awkward too. And I loved it. He portrayed this guy who was just really sweet, but ignorant of the world around him. And then why wouldn't he be? Because his character has never left the town. Like none of them have. That's basically it. They're in a small town with no experience of the outside world, trying to figure out who they are. So I really, really love this movie. It is playing now. It actually came out, I want to say at 5 a.m. my time, Central Standard Time, on Netflix. So you should give it a view and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next on the nerd bell, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it, but hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.